March 15th, 2023. Emma was born. 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Sarah called me from the hospital. She's perfect, Marcus. She has your eyes. I was looking at the video feed. The baby had Jake's eyes, Jake's nose, Jake's chin. The resemblance was undeniable. Jake was in the delivery room. Someone had to be there for her, Sarah explained. The someone who should have been there was the actual father. The birth certificate arrived via email. Father, Marcus Williams, deployed. But the hospital. Photos told the truth. Jake cutting the umbilical cord. Jake holding Emma first. Jake's parents in the waiting room with mine. His mother holding my wife's baby. The first grandchild for both families, except only one family was actually related to her. Social media exploded with congratulations. Jake posted constantly, "Welcome to the world, Emma. Uncle Jake loves you so much." Hundreds of likes. My army buddies commenting from Afghanistan. Jake's a real one for stepping up. They didn't know he'd stepped up 9 months ago. Into my marriage, into my bed, into my life. Sarah's posts were careful. Always mentioning me. Always playing the deployed soldier's wife. Can't wait for Marcus to meet his daughter. Emma's daddy is a hero. The performance was flawless. The devoted wife managing alone, grateful for friend's support. No one suspected the friend was more than that. The friend was the father. I saved everything. Every photo where Jake looked at Emma like a father, not an uncle. Every moment where Sarah touched Jake's arm too tenderly. Every family gathering where they stood too close. The evidence file grew. Operation Home Front became Operation Revelation. I would need it all for what came next. May 2023. I requested emergency leave. Family crisis, I told command. Wasn't lying. Flew 36 hours from Afghanistan to Kentucky. Didn't tell Sarah I was coming. Wanted to surprise them. The surprise would be mutual. Uber from the airport, still in a CU's duffel bag with deployment gear. The driver thanked me for my service. I wanted to laugh. Service to what? A country? A marriage that didn't exist? Pulled up to my house at 2 p.m. Jake's truck in the driveway. Of course, always there, always present. The doorbell camera would capture this. Good. I wanted evidence. Of the homecoming. Used my key. Entered quietly. Heard voices from the living room. Sarah laughing. Jake talking baby talk. Emma cooing. The perfect family scene. Except I was supposed to be the father in that picture. Walked into the living room. The scene was worse than imagined. Sarah breastfeeding Emma. Jake's arm around her shoulders, looking down at the baby with pure paternal love. My photos replaced. With Jake's on the mantel. They'd redecorated my house into their house. The happy couple with their newborn. They didn't hear me enter. "Daddy's home," I said quietly. Sarah's scream could have shattered windows. Emma started crying. Jake jumped up, face white. "Marcus, you're home." The guilt was written in neon across both their faces. Emma kept crying. Jake instinctively reached for her. The father's instinct. Sarah held the baby tighter, trying to cover herself. The silence that followed was deafening. "How long?" I asked. Sarah started crying. Jake stepped forward. "Brother, let me explain." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Brother? You fucked my wife and made a baby while I was deployed, and you call me brother?" Jake's mask finally dropped. No more pretense. "You were never here, Marcus. Never present." Sarah needed someone who was actually around. There it was. The truth. Sarah broke. Told me everything through tears. The affair started a year before deployment. Emotional at first, physical later. They'd planned to end it when I deployed. Instead, deployment gave them freedom. The IVF story was Jake's idea, The timeline would be close enough if no one looked carefully. They thought I'd never find out. Thought I'd come home and raise Jake's baby as mine. I love him, Sarah said simply. I'm sorry, but I love him. Emma is his daughter. We want to be together. The honesty was almost refreshing after months of lies. Jake stood there, protective of Sarah and Emma, the family unit I'd been excluded from. My wife, my best friend, their baby. The math was simple. I was the outsider in my own home. I pulled out my phone, showed them the evidence file, 300 screenshots, bank records, doorbell footage, the fertility clinic photo. Their faces went pale. I've sent this to my lawyer, I lied. Hadn't yet, but would. Also to both your families. That was true. Sent it while on the plane. Check your phones. Notifications were already coming in. Jake's phone exploded with calls. Sarah's mother. Calling repeatedly. You're getting nothing, I told Sarah. No alimony. No house. Nothing. Adultery voids everything in Kentucky. And Jake, your job on base? Gone. Adultery with a deployed soldier's spouse is federal crime under UCMJ, even for civilians on base. Jake's contractor position would be terminated. Security clearance revoked. Career destroyed. Good Dot left them there with their crying baby and ringing phones. Went to a hotel. Within hours, the story was everywhere. Small military community. News. Traveled fast. Jake's parents disowned him. Sarah's family was mortified. My family was supportive but shocked. We thought Jake was helping, my mother said. We had no idea. No one ever does until the truth comes out. Filed for divorce next day. Kentucky is an at-fault state. Adultery is grounds for immediate divorce. Sarah got nothing. No spousal support. No claim to military benefits. No house. The prenup we'd signed protected my assets. She'd insisted on it originally, thinking she had more to lose. Ironic. The house was mine before marriage. She had 30 days to leave. Jake lost his job within a week. Base commander had zero tolerance for civilians who prey on deployed soldiers. Families banned from all military installations. His veteran friends turned on him. You don't do that to a brother. You don't touch a deployed soldier's wife. Unwritten code broken. He became a pariah in our community. Had to move back with his parents. With Sarah. With Emma. The paternity test confirmed what everyone could see. Emma was Jake's daughter. 0% chance she was mine. Sarah tried to put my name on the birth certificate anyway. Hospital refused once I provided DNA results. Emma Morrison, not Williams. Jake could claim his daughter properly now. Hope it was worth it. My unit was supportive. Sergeant First Class Thompson helped me through the rage. Channel it into the mission, he advised. Best revenge is success. Threw myself into work. Extended deployment voluntarily. Couldn't go home to an empty house. Let Sarah and Jake figure out their new life. The excitement of secret affair was gone. Now they had reality. Bills, baby crying. No military benefits. Hope the sex was worth it. Word spread through social media. Jake and Sarah became cautionary tale. The best friend who betrayed his brother. The wife who couldn't wait. The baby born of betrayal. Their Instagram accounts went private after the harassment started. Good. Let them hide. Let them feel shame. They'd humiliated me publicly. Now it was their turn. By December 2023, I was back from deployment. Divorce finalized. House empty but mine. Started rebuilding. The Army offered counseling. Took it. Therapist said betrayal trauma is real. Like PTSD, but from emotional warfare. 2 tours in Afghanistan were easier than 1 deployment with Jake and Sarah back home. Jake tried reaching out. Long email about mistake, asking forgiveness, claiming he never meant for it to happen. Deleted it. Sarah sent photos of Emma. She should know her father's best friend. Locked her. They'd made their choice. They could live with consequences. Emma wasn't my daughter. Not my responsibility. Jake's problem now. My family struggled with the situation. They'd loved Sarah. Trusted Jake. The betrayal affected everyone. Mom removed all photos with them. Dad wanted to confront Jake physically. Had to talk him down. Sister started a support group for military spouses dealing with infidelity during deployment. Called it Home Front Betrayal. Dozens joined within weeks. Started dating again slowly. Trust issues obvious. New girlfriend was understanding. Also military, understood the life. Understood deployment stress. Understood betrayal. By those closest? Their loss, she said simply. She was right. Sarah gave up a loyal husband for a man who'd betray his best friend. Jake gave up a brother for a woman who'd cheat on her deployed husband. They deserved each other. The last update came through mutual friends. Jake and Sarah struggling. No money. Jake couldn't find good work. Sarah couldn't work with new baby. Living with Jake's parents. Fighting constantly. The excitement gone. Reality of their choice setting in. Raising a baby without military support, health care, or benefits. The very thing Sarah feared, being poor, she'd chosen by picking Jake. Over me. 9 months deployed. 3 months since Sarah told me she was pregnant. It's a miracle, Marcus. The IVF finally worked. We'd never done IVF. Couldn't afford it on Army pay. But I played along, wanted to believe. Then Jake posted on Instagram. Picture of him and Sarah at a fertility clinic. Supporting my best friend's wife through this journey while he serves our country. The comments praised him. No one did the math. I did. The clinic visit was 2 weeks after I deployed. The successful procedure was Jake. My mother commented, "So wonderful Sarah has support. Marcus will be thrilled to be a father." I was 8,000 miles away, risking my life, while my best friend was making babies with my wife. The pregnancy announcement came with ultrasound photos. Jake was in every single one. Welcome to the channel where military service meets ultimate betrayal. Hit subscribe if you're ready for a story of friendship, infidelity, and revenge served at discharge. Let me tell you how my best friend became my worst enemy while I was defending our country. My name is Staff Sergeant Marcus Williams, 32 years old, Army Infantry, stationed at Fort Campbell. Jake Morrison and I met in high school. Football team. Same group of friends, brothers by choice. When I joined the Army at 18, Jake went to college. When I married Sarah at 24, Jake was my best man. When Jake lost his job in 2021, I got him work on base as a civilian contractor. Sarah and I had been trying for kids since 2019. 3 years of negatives, 2 miscarriages, countless tears. Military health care doesn't cover IVF. We'd saved $30,000 for treatment, but deployment orders came first. We'll try when you get back, Sarah promised. It's just 1 more year. Jake was at our house that night, drinking beer, playing video games. Don't worry, brother. I'll keep Sarah company. Make sure she's not too lonely. Looking back, the signs were there. Jake always stayed too long at dinners. Sarah laughed too hard at his jokes. They had inside jokes I didn't get. When I worked late, Jake was always available to help Sarah. When I was in the field for training, Jake's truck was in my driveway. He's fixing the sink, Sarah would say. The sink that never seemed to stay fixed. June 10th, 2022. Deployment day. 400 soldiers saying goodbye to families. Jake drove Sarah to base because her car was in the shop. They stood together at the ceremony. Jake's arm around her shoulders as she cried. "Take care of her," I said. "Don't worry about anything." "Here," Jake replied. "Focus on coming home safe." The hug he gave me lasted longer than usual. Guilt, I realize now. The first month of deployment was normal. Daily texts from Sarah, weekly video calls, Jake checking in like a good friend. "Sarah's doing great," he'd message. "Keeping her spirits up." Photos of them at coffee, at the movies, at dinner. "Just keeping her distracted," Jake explained. I was grateful. Thanked him repeatedly for being such a good friend. What a fool I was. September 2022, 3 months into deployment. Sarah's video call was different. Excited, glowing, unable to sit still. "Marcus, I have news. I'm pregnant." I stared at the screen, confused. "How? When?" She laughed, tears streaming. "Remember right before you left? It must have happened then. It's a miracle." I did the math. Didn't add up. But her joy was infectious. Maybe I'd miscounted. Maybe the stress had affected my memory. "Jake's been amazing," she continued. "Driving me to appointments, helping with morning sickness." Jake appeared on screen, grinning. "Congrats, Daddy. This is incredible." His enthusiasm seemed genuine. Sarah showed the ultrasound, 8 weeks along. The dates were fuzzy in my deployment-addled brain. I wanted to believe, needed to believe. So I did. The Instagram post changed everything. Jake with Sarah at Austin Fertility Center. Posted 3 months ago, but I'd just seen it. The algorithm finally showed me what I needed to see. Day 1 of Sarah's IVF journey. Blessed to support her while Marcus defends our freedom. The date, June 24th, 2022, 2 weeks after I deployed. Sarah in a hospital gown. Jake holding her hand. The conception date suddenly made sense. I screenshot everything. Started scrolling back. Jake at every appointment. Jake at the pharmacy, picking up prenatal vitamins. Jake assembling the crib. Jake at the gender reveal, a party I'd missed because of a mission. Pink smoke. Jake lifting Sarah, spinning her around. At comments from friends and family, all praising Jake for stepping up while I was gone. No one questioned why he was always there. Found Sarah's Facebook. Her relationship status still said married to me, but her photos told a different story. Every picture with Jake. Breakfast dates, lunch dates, dinner dates. "So grateful for this amazing support system," she'd caption them. Her mother commenting, "Jake is such a blessing during this difficult time." My own mother adding, "Marcus is lucky to have a friend like Jake caring for his family." I couldn't confront them from Afghanistan. Needed proof. Started documenting. Everything. Every photo, every post, every timeline discrepancy. Created a folder labeled Operation Home Front. Military precision applied to personal reconnaissance. The evidence was overwhelming once I looked for it. Our doorbell camera footage was still accessible. Sarah didn't know I had the app. Jake's truck arriving at 8 p.m., leaving at 7 a.m. Not every night, but enough. Date stamps corresponding with my night missions. When I was on patrol, Jake was in my bed. The camera caught them kissing on the porch. June 25th, the day after the fertility clinic visit. Bank statements showed the truth. No IVF payments. The $30,000 we'd saved was gone. Charges at restaurants I'd never been to. Hotels in Austin during my deployment. A jeweler where Sarah bought Marco's birthday gift, a $2,000 watch in July. My birthday is in December. The watch was probably on Jake's wrist. The pregnancy timeline was undeniable. Conception mid-June. I'd been gone since June 10th. Last intimate moment with Sarah was June 3rd, a week before deployment. The baby wasn't mine. Couldn't be mine. Mathematics doesn't lie, even when wives do. Jake had impregnated my wife within days of my deployment. Phone records through our family plan revealed everything. Sarah and Jake texting hundreds of times daily. Late-night calls lasting hours. The frequency increased after I deployed. On days I couldn't contact Sarah due to missions, she was on the phone with Jake for hours. They'd been having an emotional affair that turned physical the moment I left, December 2022. Sarah live-streamed the baby shower on Facebook, so Marcus can watch from Afghanistan. The living room was decorated in pink. Baby Emma banners everywhere. Jake was co-hosting, wearing a world's best uncle shirt. The audacity was breathtaking. My brother, sister, and parents were there. Everyone celebrating my miracle baby. The moment that broke me, Jake's speech. Marcus is my brother. When he asked me to watch over Sarah, I promised to treat her like family. This baby is going to be so loved. I'll be here every step of the way, even after Marcus returns. The room applauded. Sarah wiped tears. My mother hugged Jake. "You're such a good man," she said. If only she knew how good he'd been to her daughter Dash-in-Dash-Law. Then came the gifts. Jake gave Sarah a gold necklace with E pendant. "For Emma," he announced. But the receipt I found later showed he'd bought two. The other pendant was J. Sarah wore it in photos when she thought I wouldn't see. Their initials, their baby, their secret. All documented on social media while I dodged bullets in Kandahar. My unit noticed my mood shift. "Williams, you good?" Sergeant First Class Thompson asked. Showed him the evidence. His response, "Brother, that's fucked up. But stay focused. Handle it when you get home. Can't fight two wars at once." He was right. But every patrol, every mission, I thought about Jake in my house, in my bed, raising my wife's baby. The worst part was the sympathy messages. "Marcus must be so excited. You're going to be an amazing dad. Jake is such a good friend for helping out." Each comment was a knife twist. Everyone saw what was happening, except they interpreted it as friendship. The perfect crime hidden in plain sight. The devoted wife and the supportive friend. My name is Marcus Williams. I served 2 tours in Afghanistan, earned Bronze Star, Purple Heart, and Combat Infantry Badge, but my biggest battle was on the home front. My wife and best friend betrayed me while I served our country. They created a child while I created safety for Americans. They built their relationship on the ruins of my marriage. Jake taught me that brotherhood can be performance. That the person you trust most can be the one who destroys you. That I'll take care of her can mean something entirely different than intended. He gained a daughter, but lost his honor. Lost his friend, lost his reputation, lost everything that mattered for something that shouldn't have. Sarah taught me that deployment widows are real. That some spouses can't handle the lifestyle. That loneliness can override loyalty. That 9 months is long enough to create new life and destroy old promises. She gained Jake, but lost stability, respect, and future. Hope Jake was worth it when the bills come due. Emma will grow up knowing her origin story. Product of betrayal. Conception through deception. Her existence proof of her parents' dishonor. Not her fault, but her burden. Every military kid in school will know her story. Your dad stole your mom from his deployed best friend. Kids are cruel with truth. I learned that deployment isn't just about surviving combat. It's about surviving what happens at home while you're gone. That the real enemy might be in your own house. That the hardest part of serving isn't leaving. It's what you come back to. Or don't come back to. To my military brothers and sisters. Verify everything. Trust but confirm. Install cameras. Check bank statements. Watch social media. The enemy isn't always foreign. Sometimes they're wearing your clothes, sleeping in your bed, claiming your benefits. Sometimes they're named Jake, The uniform I wore with pride. The marriage I thought was solid. The friendship I thought was eternal. All illusions. But I survived Afghanistan, and I survived Jake and Sarah, still standing, still serving, still moving forward. Without them, Rangers lead the way. Even through betrayal. Especially through betrayal.